Okay, blush placement. It's gonna make it or break it when it comes to your makeup. I don't wanna look older, do you? I don't wanna look like things around a line, and I would love it if natural light could hit my cheek to actually make me look younger while I'm at it and my skin glow. If that's what you want, let's get it right now. I'm going to be using a cream makeup. I'm going to be explaining blush placement for you. Blush placement can actually be with a powder, it can be with a cream, but my favorite is a cream, hands down. You're gonna find out why in this video too, because it really does make a difference. So let's do this. I want to do this in my room so that it can be all comfy, cozy, and all the goodness that comes with that. But when it comes to blush, and when it comes to brushes, and when it comes to where we apply, it's really gonna make a difference. So if we go in with a bigger brush, let's hope and pray we actually have a bigger face. It can really take over the whole face, especially depending on the end of the brush that we're using. So it might be worth it, let me grab my brush here, to go in with something a little bit smaller. So more so this size, depending on your face shape. Now, if you have a bigger face, that can make a difference for you too. But if you have something small and you're using a bigger ended brush, how is that blush gonna go? Now let's talk about a powder blush. Powder blush placement, there's a really good chance you're gonna be getting that blush all over the cheek. I want you to think about when you use blush. Do you have a frustration that is attached with it? Because there's a good chance that you do. I do, and I have a smaller face. So when everybody always said use as big of a puffy brush as you could use when it comes down to your cheek. And when you use something like that, it is overwhelming and overpowering that cheek and that face, and then you lose the shape. So let's break down a couple different things. This isn't a tutorial where I'm gonna tell you you should be doing this. This is one where I'm gonna tell you, I want you to try these things when it comes to you applying your blush. The thing that I love about the blushes that I use is that they are cream, but also these can be a lip and cheek, AKA a lipstick and a blush all in one. So what I put on my lips, I can put on my cheeks. What I put on my cheeks, I can put on my lips. And with them being in a flat surface like this, I can mix and match for different colors that I want to create. Within blush placement, there's a couple different things that we need to pay attention to. One of the things is all the apples on the cheek that everybody said you just pinch these and you go and apply, or you lay it on the cheek and whatnot. But some of us really have emotional expression faces where if you're smiling, it lifts really, really well. And so if you're smiling and it's up here and then you droop it and the blush comes down here, okay? Or we get super heavy in the front of our face or we do it too far back. So we're gonna go into a couple different things. I wanna make this as short and sweet and to the point, but making sure that you have the most key information that you need to have when it comes to blushes. So the one thing is when you go to the apples of your cheeks to apply, if you're somebody that things start to really droop down, but when you smile, you really like how that apple looks, but then when you put it down, it really lowers that cheek. You are not gonna have the best results when it comes to your blush, because what you're seeing now is, oh, that was awesome when I was smiling, but I can't be walking around like this every dang day, right? So that is now gonna become super low. So naturally, where I would wanna put that up with a straight face is up in here. See the difference? So it's more so at the top of the apple and not at the lower part of the apple. That's gonna make a difference for you. So there's a couple things that are trending right now. That is where people are putting the blush all across the nose, all across the cheeks, or you're seeing blush go extremely high. So I'm gonna walk you into a couple things that you can pay attention to with your face. So when it comes to contouring, if you have a super round face, you're gonna wanna contour at a stronger angle, right? And our blush is kind of gonna mimic that as well. So you always want your contour and your blush to be together, to be married, I like to say, where they're kind of touching. And so you do want that. If you are somebody that doesn't have so much of a round face, we still want to keep things at an angle though. The more you come straight back, you're just cutting your face in half. So we do want to have a more lifted look. Now, when it comes to our contour, how we're applying with the contour, we are wanting the contour to just not come straight back, but to have a lift within it right? And the more you can bring in this higher angle too, by the time you blend that out, you're seeing that there is a lift that's going on there. So when it comes in for our blush, sorry, need to clean that. The same kind of thing is going for it. We're gonna follow this line up, okay? So I want you, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna try a couple of these methods, and then you're gonna wanna take a picture of them with doing them like that on you, and then try another method and see which one you like more. So you'll see now though, that just gave me a very raised, lifted look. Before, what we would have done is we would put the blush here, and then the blush would come on the face, and then we blend it back in. And you can see how that begins to create a lowered look. So the face doesn't look like it's lifted anymore. The focus is more here. And let's try and see if we can bring the focus more back there. So I'm gonna clean this off, and I'm gonna make the focus now be right more so at the back, okay? So we're losing the focus at the front, and we're bringing the focus more lifted and raised, and will come forward when that brush doesn't have as much product on it. So we're still getting it onto the apple with that smile even, but because we decided to bring it more back in here, we're getting that lift at the back of our face. Now, a lot of the style right now is girls are putting this all the way up into here. That's personal preference. Another thing that's happening too is they're coming up, over, and along the nose. That's something that you can experiment with and see if that's something you want to do too. You're seeing a lot more of that though with like a corally pink color, and not so much pink, but a coral pink, awesome color, and with maybe a little bit more warmth. So you just want to, they're doing it to create that natural flush. Why do we want to incorporate a cream? So a cream is what can actually add a natural glow to the skin. A cream can do that with a blush. It can do that with your foundation color. It can do that with a lot more to create the natural glow. A cream is as good as you can get to act as a second skin for the skin. So it can mimic the skin as much as possible, where a powder diffuses that and takes that out. So even though I have not put any glow on my face, you can see that glow kind of sits there, because a cream can incorporate that with it. Now, a cream can get a bad rap that's saying if I have oily skin, I can't use it, or I have dry skin, I can't use it, but you can. Now, of course, I'm gonna talk to you about skincare, and I'm gonna put a link at the bottom of this that is to the skincare that I use. You can get a free consultation from Raquel and her crew that tells you what skincare is best for you. But it's also important to remember that if we want the look out of a makeup line, we've got to do our part with our skincare ahead of time. If you have been doing your skincare for a long time now and it still is doing nothing, you need to change out your skincare. So I recommend to stick with the skincare for 4 weeks, because you can really see the effect that it's doing. Of course, if you're having massive issues, then we need to change that up too. But it is important that you add things in slowly, one at a time. But if that moisturizer is not doing anything for you, you need to change it out. You want the skin to be glowing naturally on its own. And a cream can work really well with all of that too, but there are a couple things that you need to pay attention to. One of the best things to do too, if you're in the United States and Canada minus Quebec, and you want this makeup, you can get a custom color match for me to go to fitmissionmakeup.com, and I'll match you up there. So lastly, the thing I want to give you too is my 3 favorite colors right now that are great for fall. So we have this color that's called Sandstone. Sandstone is a color that you can mix it with other ones too to kind of soften it out, but it gives you that warm color within your cheeks. Another fun one that I'm obsessed with that was just a color that was like in for like a season for just a couple quarters, but everybody loved it so much they brought it back. So this one looks more so, I hope you can tell the difference. It is more rosy purple than Sandstone. Sandstone is that red, like when you think of sandstone, like Zion National Monument, that's what sandstone is. Renaissance has more of this purpleness to it. It is so yummy. Now, you take these 2 colors, they can be awesome together, they can be awesome apart, and they can be mixed and matched with other colors. So if you're trying to keep things a little bit more neutral, I'm gonna incorporate this semi-type gloss into it, and this one is called Ibiza. So it is a more natural color that you can mix with these two to create your own color within it, and it's gonna kind of change the colors. But these are great fall colors to have on hand. If you do want to incorporate another one, you can incorporate the color Frenchy, or another one called Madrid that's really gonna bring in those warm tones. Hopefully you understood when I said my cream blush explained out that now you get the difference between the powder and the cream blushes. A powder blush is harder to control. A cream blush is easier to get it in place right where you want it. And creams you can also mix and match and create other colors a lot easier. Remember that the brushes that you use are going to make a difference with the size. If you have a bigger face, of course you can incorporate a bigger brush. But if you don't have a bigger face, you do need to incorporate something that can just pounce on there really well. And remember lastly too, that the way we use the brush is going to make a difference from sweeping to stippling it on. I'm Jocelyn McClellan. If you have not followed this channel before, it is something that you want to do. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and go find me over on Instagram at jocelyn.mcclellan and Facebook Fit Mission Makeup with Jocelyn McClellan. I hope that this video made some sense to you. It made you want to rethink how you're doing your blush. Try it out in multiple ways. Let me know which one was best for you. Send me a picture of yourself after you tried it out too. I'm more than happy to help over on Instagram or in my email, fitmissionmakeup@gmail.com. If you need a custom color match, always go to fitmissionmakeup.com and I'm happy to help you out for your foundations, your blushes, your eyeshadows, whatever it may be. Take care, have a good one. We'll see you later, bye.